Coming to the eighth house in astrology, eighth house represents a lot of things. I have listed almost all the things I could think of, but yeah, I believe this covers almost all of the eighth house. Eighth house is very important, and I have put more effort into this house because this is one of the most misunderstood houses. Yeah, that's why I'm pretty sure this will be one of the longest videos in the house explanation. But yeah, I want to make sure I explain each point properly, especially when it comes to eighth house. So yeah, starting with longevity, eighth house shows a person's age, or let's say his life. Eighth house is in a way prana of a person. So let's say eighth house has Ketu, or in someone's chart eighth house has Ketu or Mars. Then a person might keep facing some or the other issues like life-threatening issues. This depends on multiple other things like aspects and other conjunctions. But yeah, this shows a person's life. Like let's say fifth house would show a person's health, and first house would show a person's body. This shows person's life. So if this is very damaged and that phase is going on, like Maraka and Badaka, and yeah, Maraka and Badaka is also different concept. But yeah, if that person has a tough situation, especially regarding the eighth house, then that person's life may be threatened in some or the other way, depending on the planets. So yeah, eighth house covers disgrace, any disgrace. Person who may, if eighth house is active and the person is not using the eighth house, even if he is in one of the topmost positions, he may even be kicked out of the company, for example. Yeah, and he may get caught doing something and might face a lot of disgraceful situation, and the circumstances may be very bad, and he might face humiliation and these things. It doesn't matter how powerful or how influential the person is, the person may go through a lot of very bad situations depending on the planet situated and owning the eighth house, and a few other things. But yeah, eighth house represents disgrace. That's why there are many negative things in the eighth house. That's why people consider this house as one of the very negative houses, especially if a person wants to live in a materialistic or just in a comfortable and easygoing life. This house can be very difficult, can cause a very difficult phase in a person's life. Now coming to unearned, here unearned shows wealth, it shows a status, so many things. Like let's say a man got married to a wealthy woman who has a lot of inheritance or something, then the person would indirectly gain some unearned wealth, and he would get some unearned status there. Even if he was just a normal person and they had let's say a love marriage or something, then the person would gain unearned status and unearned income. Unearned things in general can be seen by the eighth house. And yeah, even doing something wrong, like let's say cheating someone, maybe a cyber scam or something, that income is also completely unearned. Like your like let's say a hacker or someone, a scammer scams an innocent person and takes his money, so he gains wealth, but through an no he gained it, but it wasn't earned in an ethical way, especially. So yeah, that shows unearned income. And if eighth house is active and a person is not very ethical, or uses all means, or all ways or all paths to gain whatever he wants, he might indulge in this part of the eighth house. There will be consequences for sure, but yeah, he might not see that at the time. Next, hidden. Here, hidden can be wealth or hidden treasures. Uh, Many things that are hidden in this world, like hidden wisdom, hidden knowledge, not wisdom, hidden knowledge, hidden books, hidden anything hidden in this world, especially from the public or from the people who don't have the right or the proper adhikara to gain that particular knowledge or to gain that wealth. Then all these things, hidden things in this world, are seen from the eighth house. That's why this house is a very powerful house, and this shows all of the grand things in the world. It may be not luxurious, but it shows, like, let's say, complete hidden knowledge to immortality, for example. You can't, how much your money or fame or status you have, you can't gain immortality, not yet. Uh, so, yeah, all the hidden knowledge is this can be shown by the eighth house. Hidden knowledge, hidden wealth, yeah. Career, here career, it's showing, it doesn't support career, it is showing issues with the career, obstructions with the career, delays, or delay in promotion. All of these things can be seen through the eighth house. And if, let's say, in a very good combination, like, let's say, a person has 2, 6, 7, 10, 11. This is a very good combination for business. But at the same time, if he has 8 also present, 2, 6, 7, 8, 10, 11, and he's not into, or he's not activating 8th house in any way, then 8th house will get activated. Since it is present, it will get activated as obstruction, delay, and many other things. Yeah, so 8th house shows problems or issues in career if the person is not in the career of 8th house. Yeah. Coming to gift, yeah, gift is also in a way unearned, and in marriages especially, many people get gifted a lot, and let's say property or something. These gifts can also be seen through 8th house. Now, let's say a person has 8 present in their current phase of life in Dasha or Bhukti. They might gain some gifts. They can gain a lot of things from all these points, but gifts can also be one of the things they may gain, and this can be seen by going into depth of this 8th house. There are divisional charts, and there are many ways to go into depth of each particular house. So yeah, I'll go into those things later. Yeah, but gifts can also be seen through the 8th house. Death. So here, death is in a general way, people just consider death as just not being alive. But here, death can be seen as so many things: death of a company, death of a business, death of the way you were. So many things can be seen. All the things related to the actual term death, that is crematorium or burial grounds, all these things can also be linked to the 8th house. These things can be seen through the 8th house. Now, yeah. I think that's enough for death. Treasure. Here, treasure is also one of the things that normally gets hidden and is a mystery, and that's why treasure comes under the 8th house. And 8th house is also showing something hidden, something vast. It's not showing showing like a second house, like accumulating things or something. Here, this is showing all sudden things and grand things. This is okay, sudden, sudden events. All sudden things or grand things in life can also be shown through the eighth house. And if eighth house is very positive for a person, then the person may get a lot of hidden things in this world and may gain it all of a sudden. So, in a way, eighth house is very similar to Rahu, the planet Rahu. All of sudden events, magnanimous things, and yeah, politics. Politicians have a lot of money, influence, and they gain it all of a sudden when they win an election or something. I have no clue about politics, but I know that they have a lot of money, unearned money, and through unethical means. So they require a very powerful eighth house. So yeah, politics, to get into politics, to be to win in politics, so many things can be seen through the eighth house. Treasure, yes, a lot of wealth that is hidden and that is gained suddenly and that is completely unearned. That can be shown through the eighth house, and that is a mystery. There you have to be a bit intelligent to solve this thing and gain some hidden treasure. And this just doesn't show a straight treasure. This shows a very well hidden or something that cannot be accessed by the normal person. A person should be gifted in uncovering secrets or uncovering secrets. Yeah, that's why treasure can also be shown by the eighth house. Yeah, coming to PLC or public limited company, here the company uses public money, or at least majority or most of it. I don't know the specifics, but yeah, they use public's money. Here, just like politicians, when these people, these companies use public's money, eighth house can be activated, and this will be the good aspect of eighth house, because let's say a person has very good combination like 2, 6, 7, 10, 11, which is very good for business and business growth. Yeah, and he has 8 also. Then if the person is using public's money, then this 8th house is negative, like obstruction, loss, getting cheated, being a victim of fraudulent activity. Yeah, these things can be negated if a person uses public's money and starts a company or just starts a project, something. Yeah. Then fears. When 8th house is activated, we may have to go through a phase where we face our fears, all hidden fears, the fears which we just cover and close the doors in our minds. Yeah, all the hidden fears too. Almost all fears is just like Rahu does. The fears are just going to be poured out, and meaning you'll have to go through these difficult phases where you face your fears and become stronger and grow and grow and become a better version of yourself. Yeah, fears can also be shown through the 8th house. Yes, this is actually very positive in a way, but then if the planets indicating this are showing other negative houses too, and the planet itself is very malefic, then this can be a bad situation. And using the other things like performing research or getting into occult or studying some occult related books is more than enough to negate this to some extent. In astrology, nothing can be negated 100%. This is a fact in astrology. People say remedy for this, remedy for that, but 100% is never done. It takes time, especially if, let's say, someone is performing Narayan Bali, for example, for Pitru Dosha Parihara, then people assume that performing the Bali once is more than enough, and that is rarely the case, and it should be checked. Like, let's say a person performs Narayan Bali, and then he has to wait for 3 to 4 months and check if his material things around him are improving, the money that is stuck, and these things, people who owe them money, if the money is coming, or all the materialistic things in life is improving. If it's not improving, then the person might have to perform the Bali again after 6 months and in a very different location, and these things should be performed in a very good place. I know I went off topic, but yeah, I felt all these things that are included in occult, and when it comes to fear and these things, all people misunderstand these things. Instead, they can use the good things and try to pacify the negative effects of each house. But whenever we are using such, like, let's say a person has 8 and he's leading a simple employed life, being an employee, then the person may read occult related books for 1 or 2 hours every day whenever his 8th house is active, and that will reduce this to like 60 to 80%. So just 10 or 20% of facing fears is so much better than 100%. Like, yeah, these things can pacify, but 100% remedy is very difficult. But 100% remedy through very refined rituals, like like I mentioned, the Narayan Bali, if it is performed in a very good place where they have been performing for generations, then after many times, maybe it may take few times for some people, sometimes it's one time is more than enough, that will pacify for this lifetime, or for some time. Pacifying is the thing. There's no 100% remedy in astrology or in anything. 100% of these things cannot be negated. That's why these houses are also called as negative houses, especially for the person who wants to be in a materialistic life and lead a simple, comfortable life where he enjoys all the materialistic things. That's when that is present in that person, 8th house and 6th house and 12th house can be somewhat negative too. Yeah. Now coming to insurance. Insurance is one of the career paths that is offered by the 8th house. If 8th house is very strongly present in a person's chart, insurance fields can be very good for the person, especially to work. If 8 and 10, 8, 6, 10, some of these combinations are present. 8th house shows insurance, and if a person will get the amount from insurance after a certain incident, these things can also be seen by the 8th house. 8th house is also the house of in-laws. So just having negative planets in the 8th house can show that that person will have some or the other difficulties with his in-laws. Yeah, that can also be seen in more depth by checking divisional charts and checking the position of Mandi. But yeah, 8th house shows relationship and the gains and losses from in-laws to a person. Yeah, 8th house is the house of in-laws, and this is wealth gain from a partner. Now let's say here there can be multiple situations, but in one of the example I'd like to give, a person gains wealth from his partner after marrying a rich person. Now let's say a guy married a rich woman, or girl married a rich guy, then they gain, if even if it's not direct, even if it's not to their own account, or they, even if it's not considered their own money, in an indirect way, they are gaining some or the other wealth from that person. So yeah, this is partner's wealth. And in some other cases, now let's say both are now let's say the partners, let's say A is a guy and B is a woman. Here A is marrying B, but B is not exactly wealthy, but A has a certain type of combination where it shows that if A marries anyone in general, if A is married, he starts gaining wealth because the type of energy required for this person, or the karmic energy required for A to gain materialistic things, is hidden or is controlled or provided by B by marrying anyone. This is one of the things we can see from 7th and the 8th house. Yeah. This is partners. Well, some people, I've seen some people being very unsuccessful and having very bad luck in the starting 25, 28 years, where they have to go through a very difficult time. And after they marry someone they love, or someone, after the marriage, the person suddenly starts becoming very successful. So that is like he had a lock in his karmic, or he had to get through the karmic debts, and after his debt was done, and after he married, that person unlocked and made his karma, or made him gain good things in life. Yeah, and this can be seen through the 8th house. Accidents. If 8th house is active, then we can also see if a person will face accidents. Now let's say Mars is in the 8th house and Mars's phase is going on, then being careful from accidental situations or travel will be wise, because Mars is the one of the karakas of Mars is accidents. So if Mars is present in the 8th house, then a person should be cautious of this in this particular phase. Yeah, and depending on the planets conjunct, these things can vary a lot. Yeah, delays. Now if Saturn is present in the 8th house, you can expect delays in everything in this person's life, because this is 8th house is considered one of the houses of delays. There will be delays and it can't be negated. Delays can't be negated when it comes to 8th house, and even if it is pacified by using other things, other good things of the 8th house, it can not be completely, like let's say it can't be pacified more than 50%, because whenever 8 is present, wherever 8 is present, even in numerology, 8 shows delays in almost everything, if 8 is active in a person's phase. So yeah, and Saturn is the one of the karakas of Saturn is delays. So Saturn in the 8th house can show delays in things, but that doesn't mean this person won't get what he wants. He will get it, and he will get something big too, not something small, because he goes through this delay phase. He knows how to work hard. He or the person who has 8th active a lot, or born on 8 too, will be a hard worker in general. If he is not, then that is just bad luck. Yeah, because after all the delay, he'll be getting the same thing what the others got very early. So yeah. Insults, yes. Let's say 8th is active and a person gets insulted in some or the other way. Even a very powerful or very influential person gets insulted. If 8th is present, this also shows that it's very rare for this person to be able to get back up. Meaning, being able to fight against the person who insulted can also be very difficult, because if 8 is active and this person gets insulted, it will be like, let's say a person is a normal employee and he gets insulted by a higher position person like a board member or something. It's very difficult for this person to fight back. That is the type of situations people may face when 8 is active. Okay, moving to tension. Tension in life, in general, tension in job, tension in marriage. It can be tension prior marriage in the preparations, and suddenly in-laws bringing up something like dowry or something. All types of tensions can be seen through the 8th house, and it depends on which lord is situated in the 8th house, and many things, conjunction, aspects. But yeah, tension is also under the 8th house. Knowledge, yeah, hidden knowledge and mysterious knowledge, all the knowledge gained from occult or spiritual knowledge, these things can be governed by the 8th house. Yeah. A very deep knowledge in general, not a very superficial or some course or something, let's say a degree or something. These things are not shown by the 8th house. 8th house shows worldly knowledge and cosmic knowledge. This is beyond normal people's life, meaning, let's say a normal person would be leading a simple life, like going to job and doing his things. In a regular normal life, that person will rarely come across this kind of knowledge. This depth of knowledge will be, you can find this type of knowledge from a person who is so involved in science, for example, let's say in physics, theoretical physics and astrophysics, and a saint, spiritual person. Yeah, that is the type of knowledge 8th house shows. 8th house shows challenges, many, it can be any challenges, any field, anything, challenge in almost anything and everything, that can be seen by the planets, by the significations of the phase where 8th is active. Yeah, it depends on different things, but challenges is one of the very prominent thing. Challenge is one of the prominent thing that comes under the 8th house. Secrets. Now, whether we keep secrets or people keep secrets from us, and all sorts of secrets, uncovering secrets, creating secrets, all the secret related activities comes under the 8th house. Obstruction, yeah. Obstruction, let's say someone is trying to sabotage your company or reputation. Obstruction of almost anything. Anything you plan, anything you want to do, anything, it can be anything in a person's life. Obstruction in almost all areas is possible. So all these things, whenever I mention obstruction or loss, or anything, when it comes to 8th house or any other houses too, all of these things depend on the other planets or the planets showing this, and the significations the planets are showing too. So obstruction in work may be seen as let's say 7, 8, 10. There might be some obstruction in work if the person is not working in 8th related field and is not activating 8th in any other way. So yeah, obstruction comes under 8th. Occult, so all occult studies, it may be Western, Indian, Eastern, all the occult related studies like tarot reading or Reiki, so many things, all the occult fields which need a person to stop seeing, let's say a person should be cut off from the materialistic things. That is when he starts seeing the spiritual or the higher things in general. and that is shown by the 8th house, and that is required in almost all the occult fields, even in astrology. Yeah. Uh, Here, undisclosed affairs can be seen by the 8th house. Now, let's say a person has 5th house active and he has some affair, some affair with a different person, then the person has a very high chance of being caught. Now, let's say 8th is active and the person is indulging in an affair, the chances of him getting caught is very low. So, undisclosed, and this person will very likely not reveal it, but that will become a very strong karmic act for this person in the future. So, undisclosed affairs can be seen through the 8th house, and mystery in everything. Mystery in all the domains can be seen through the 8th house. The 8th house is the house of mystery, obstruction, in-laws, unearned or hidden wealth, sudden events, yeah, disease. Now let's say a person has 4, 8 and 12 active. Here 4 shows bad health, 8 shows mystery and disease too, 12 shows loss. So 4, 8, if 4, 8, 12 is active, then a person might have or get a disease that is very mysterious and it's very difficult to cure, and it is going to be for a long time. So yeah, disease can have mystery involved in it too. So 8th house in general doesn't show small or just bad health. It shows diseases and chronic diseases, long-term diseases. Yeah, injuries. Yeah, even injuries. Whenever the person gets injured through or because the 8th house is active and active negatively, then the type of injury is also going to take some time. Now let's say a person yeah, once addictions can also be seen from the 8th house at times, not always. Now let's say a person gets injured, maybe they injure their knee when 8th house is active, and the knee gets cured after, let's say, 6 months, and to suppress the pain, the person is prescribed a drug. Now let's say weed or something, which is pretty common to suppress the pain. And this person's knee gets cured in, like, let's say 1.5 year. If it's an ACL, MCL, it depends on something on these things, but let's say it gets cured, but because he was using a suppressing agent, he might get addicted to that too. Yeah, this can also be seen through the 8th house. All these negative things which a person may indulge or get into can be seen through the 8th house. So yeah, diseases, injuries, astrology. Now, depending on what is happening in the 8th house, a person may gain astrological knowledge, may perform research or conduct research in astrology or astrological field, or may earn from astrology, or may contribute to astrology. So there can be so many things. And astrology becomes one of the easiest remedies to negate the ill effects of the 8th house. Because 8th house has so many negative traits or things which can cause so much misery or pain and suffering in a person's life. Astrology, just learning astrology like 1 or 2 hours a day is more than enough to negate all of these things. Yeah, astrology is completely governed, yeah, almost completely governed by the 8th house. And change. Now, this change or a sudden change can occur when it comes to the 8th house. It's just like Rahu being active. This is very similar to Rahu being active. There can be changes which, if you are a person who likes changes and adapts to changes very easily, then change will be very easy for you. But if a person is very rigid, now let's say a person's moon is in a earthy zodiac sign, then the person may not like changes. Then the person might suffer because of sudden changes in his life when it comes to the eighth house. Eighth house shows growth. Growth is because there is sudden change, challenges, and these things and obstructions. After facing these things, a person is simply meant to grow and become wise. So a person may grow, especially when it comes to mindset, and the person's perspective may improve. So we can see growth in the eighth house. And eighth house shows fraud, cheating. This person getting involved in fraudulent activity, like if eighth house is strong or is being signified very prominently, the person may get a chance to perform any fraudulent activity, and he may even become a victim of it. The person may cheat his partner, his business partner, his marital partner, his spouse, sorry. These things can be seen through the eighth house. And finance related fields, the career or finance career, these things can be seen through the eighth house. If a person wants to work in a financial field, then eighth house can contribute to his career. Instead of causing issues with his career, it may contribute for him, especially insurance and finance or occult. Investigation is also one of the fields that is controlled by the eighth house. A person needs, let's say, whenever we see any good detective, like the famous people like there was a show named Byomkesh Bakshi, or who, I forgot the name. Sherlock Holmes. All of these investigators, you can see their mind is not superficial in a way. You can see them being a bit deep, or thinking a bit deeply, like in like as if they're philosophical in a way. So investigation requires a person to be able to understand the convict, or the person who causes crime or does or performs crime. Investigator in general requires a very strong psychological mind, psychological knowledge. Explaining this is a bit difficult because this is completely out of the normal things I discuss. They are normally thinking in a very deep manner, and that is because eighth house is active. Eighth house's activation becomes very important for a person who wants to be good in investigative fields. Even research. If a person is involved in these fields, you can be sure his eighth house is active in some or the other way, because these are not the normal fields for a person to work in. And these fields get complemented if eighth house is active in his chart. So conducting research on venom or poison will be very good. Let's say a person is going through Rahu Mahadasha or Rahu Dasha, and the person is conducting research based on venom or poison, and he even or viruses, and he even does this in a different country, from a country which is not his home country, a foreign land. Then the person's Rahu will be very positive. Even if it is in a negative position, that becomes good, because the person is activating his eighth house in an excellent way. If the person's eighth house has Rahu in it and he is doing these activities, this will be very good for him and will be very fruitful. Yeah, eighth house also shows inheritance. I forgot about the inheritance. Yeah. To see whether a person will gain his inheritance or not can be seen through the eighth house. And yeah, problems with the inheritance, all these things, obstructions or other family members creating problems for this person to gain inheritance, all these things can be seen through the eighth house. And venom, poison, shortcuts. Just like Rahu, eighth house, whenever it is active, it will show or it will suddenly a lot of shortcuts or easy way to gain whatever you want will appear in a person's life. That's why whenever eighth house is becoming active, being an ethical and decent person will be very important for this person in general. Otherwise, there are simply too many negative aspects of eighth house, and the person may face almost all of it if that is how bad his karmic debts are. But yeah, a spiritual person will almost never face any of the negative things in from all the 12 houses, because a spiritual person wouldn't choose a shortcut, wouldn't do anything unethical. So when a person is speaking truth and is always hardworking and living an ethical life, which is very one of the very basic things for a spiritual person, and these are all animalistic traits. These are all considered animalistic traits, like trying to fraud and using shortcuts in anything. Especially in spiritual field, these are all animalistic traits, and leaving these is the first step in spirituality. So a spiritual person will rarely face any of these problems or obstructions or anything. Yeah, even not just the eighth house, in every house. That's why a spiritual person will simply be detached and will not do or perform any of the negative things that will trigger a bad karma in general. So yeah, transformation can also be seen through the eighth house. Eighth house, yeah, sudden change will cause a person to transform himself or transform the things around him. Sudden transformations can be seen here, and transformation of anything, transfer of a job can. Eighth house can also contribute in the transfer of a person's job. 3, 8, yeah. Almost any type of transformation, good or bad, can be seen through the eighth house. Intuition. Intuition is very important in, especially, it's important in all the fields, but especially important in spiritual fields or occult related fields. So intuition, this house, if it is very active in a person's life, it shows that a person will be intuitive. Even a person who is committing fraud will have good intuition and will need a good intuition to be able to get away with it. But using this intuition for bad things, then the person is simply inviting bad karmas in his life. And whenever this house is used negatively for cheating or fraudulent activities, the person gets 10 times or more of what he did. And he'll face it in a very horrible way. So it's always better to simply activate a simple thing in 8th house whenever 8th house's phase is going on and it is placed negatively. And finally, Tantra. Tantra, many people misunderstand Tantra. Tantra is just a way or a procedure to perform anything in general. But Tantra doesn't. Tantra isn't for simple living. Tantra is for gaining and improving ourselves, trying to grow. Now we as humans are born with so many animalistic traits, and to grow out of these traits, 8th house is very important. And 8th house is a very good house if a person wants to enter into occult spiritual practice like Tantra. Yeah, eighth house becomes very important. Now, people assume in Tantra it's all Bali related or all very dark things, performing rituals in graveyards or crematorium, these things. But Tantra has many sides. It's not. This is the word Tantra just shows that a person is no. The word Tantra just shows a way to do anything. So misunderstanding this can be bad or just misleading. So Tantra has many things. For example, Kolachara, Dakshinachara, Vamachara. These are all paths or Marga. People call it Marga or Marg. These are just the paths. Person may choose whichever path is right for him. Yeah. For Tantra, 8th house becomes very important because the act of transforming oneself from, let's say there are 3 stages, actually there are 4 stages, but the first stage is animal or animalistic traits, which almost 99% of the humans have right now, and we are born with it. And the act of transforming, after a person gets initiated into anything, any practice, spiritual practice, it may be in Kriya or it may be in Mantra Shastra. Yeah. After a person gets initiated, he goes from animal to becoming a warrior or Veera, and then after achieving something in Veera or gaining, not Siddhis, gaining Siddhi, no, Siddhis are completely misunderstood, and Siddhi is a simple thing you gain, but focusing on that is very bad. Simply just trying to ignore it and focusing on growth is more important. Siddhis are in a way caused by Maya to make a person stay, to make a person's mind stay in this realm. So, ignoring that and attaining more wisdom and trying to reach higher state, if a person achieves that, then he becomes divine or a saint. Now, let's say, for example, Ramakrishna Paramahamsa or Vivekananda, and there are many people, Totapuri, I think his name is Totapuri, not sure, but yeah, there have been many people this way, and they are in the divine stage. And when these people perform a lot of penance and many spiritual activities, they can go into the higher realms from the divine stage. These are all basic stages. People might assume this is these are all higher stages or something. This is nothing when it comes to spirituality, because the distance between our animalistic trait and literally the simple act of becoming starting to become divine is simply too big. So yeah, 8th house helps a person, especially when he's in Tantra. I went a bit off topic, but yeah, 8th house has so many good things, but people, whenever they use it for bad things, or people end up facing bad things because they're not activating the 8th house properly. Trying to pacify the ill effects of 8th house becomes very important whenever 8 is active in a person's phase, Dasha, Bhukti, or any of the phases. Yeah, I think this is enough for the 8th house.